last week I mentioned that, or the week before, that the financials were submitted and that the SOB will still be conducting the investigation as the financials were not complete. They were not audited as expected. Also, I'll be having a meeting later today with the board.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So that can be with who is left of the board, I must say, because there have been several resignations. And so moving forward, I think it actually works in our favor to be able to get a new board in place. So we are working together with the board. They are trying to really bring forward most of the other reports that had been due and other requirements that the Department of Education and Inspection has been requesting of them. Of course, not everything is in, but in the interest of continuity of the institution, we are looking to make the transition as quickly and as seamless as possible. Of course, not forgetting and not ignoring the fact that of liability if and when that is proven of any type of mismanagement. So we are still in the discussion phases with them. It seems a bit more positive at this time, and so I look forward to being able to reassure the general public that we are indeed able to have the institution fulfill the need for which it was established. As a matter of fact, I recently heard a broadcast on the radio questioning what and making some assumptions as to what NIPA was established for, and I'd like to clarify that. The National Institute for Professional Advancement was not established as a dropout program. It's established as a continuing program after VSBO. SBO is a tertiary level advanced vocational education, and because of how our system is, students who graduate from the VSBO levels, which are currently at SVOBE, which is Sundial and the Milton Peters College, and those students from Academy PSVE, they do not automatically qualify to go to college. They have ended that level of education. Normally, they can segue into what was formerly the academics, the HAVO or the academic at St. Martin Academy or St. Dominic. Some of them, though, might be older and more willing to do vocational studies or may not qualify for the totally academic studies based on their learning styles and their interests. So in order to continue in the vocational streams, the SBO has existed, MBO, SBO, levels 1 and 2, and levels 3 and 4. What has happened in the past is that some students who may have dropped out of whether it's academic levels or whatever and are 18 years old have tried to filter through there. The department or the ministry has had youth development programs where they were assisting young people to get certifications, etc. in the past. So they try to merge those things in the past, I believe, and maybe that's where the idea came about. But NIPA was the National Institute for Professional Advancement, was originally established for certification on levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 in various vocational areas, which have been expounded on many, many times before. The open house, which was planned last year, did go off, and so many of the stakeholders were able to see, and students were able to see what could be done there. So we have a nice development, a nice school, but right now the issue was with the structure in terms of how it's being disseminated, and that's where the questions came into play. That's where delays were occurred for students to graduate and get their certificates in time. However, belatedly, the group of RNs and LPNs that had, complained were able to complete. Several programs have had to readjust, etc. So it's an ongoing process, which we hope with new management and leadership that we will be able to reach the goals which we had hoped to achieve from the inception.
How many resignations did you get or did you know about?
We received notification as a ministry that the representative of our ministry had resigned, as well as the chairperson.
Okay. The CXC, I don't know if you're aware, the Milton Peters College recently announced that they will be offering CXC for the upcoming school year. Do you support that notion?
We have not had any meetings with the Milton Peters College or SVOBE on this topic. And I look forward to having those discussions to see the reasoning behind it as well as the validation of it. We already have CXC schools, and I have a vision that is, yes, we need to provide more opportunities in English as well for our students, because we are feeding more English students out of the elementary schools who are not qualifying for the Dutch schools. That needs to be assessed, of course, because the idea was not to be that way. So that's why we are having an analysis of the system, and as such, we will have the discussions with the school board.
Is the Ministry of VSA and AUC has signed a partnership agreement. And this is very much in keeping with the direction that we've been going, that it's a small island, and we're looking for partnership as much as possible that helps us to build synergies, that helps us to bring talent, experience, resources in a coordinated manner. Earlier, we've signed a letter of intent with the French side in terms of cooperation, again, in particular with regards towards healthcare development, healthcare reform on the island. So we've signed an agreement with AUC, and this agreement formalizes the current relationship that already exists, but again, it puts it into a structure that I believe is a win-win structure. What it does for AUC is it gives their students, it gives their physicians an opportunity for training, obviously under supervision, and it also means that these volunteers can be utilized in our community to help us bring our costs for delivering certain services to the community down. One of those examples would be the project that we're working on in terms of preventative care. And this is the project that I've spoken about before, where we're planning on finally making proper use of the healthcare bus, the mobile dental clinic, and what other resources we have available, with the idea of going into the population and helping to detect chronic diseases or early indicators at a point where we can treat things by lifestyle choices rather than by medication. So we believe that this is the best way to bring healthcare costs for the country down. And not only that, this also helps to maintain a healthier population, happier population, which is in the end our ultimate objective.
Bob, I see you got a new couch. Now you don't have anything else to worry about. Uh-oh, but don't worry about it. With your Be Sure home insurance, the contents of your home are all covered for free.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah, for free. Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
Alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I'm gonna live my life, feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Life is a journey full of connections. In safe hands, Even when life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, we're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas really easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Let me explain to you, this government took office on November 19th, and immediately, of course, there were certain activities. There was an instruction on the table that the budget had to be ready December 15th, which was quite impossible for a new government to get the entire budget prepared by December 2015. So I requested an extension until January 31st, which in itself was quite a challenge to be able to do it by January 31st. The consequence of that is that the capacity that you have in your finance department, they all hands-on to try to meet the deadline of January 31st. So you use all that capacity only working on trying to produce the budget in time for that extended deadline. Of course, in that process, the other things that normally are done were set aside to be able to get the budget done in time. So I also got to mention to you that as a rule, the last quarter of any year normally is not included. The last quarter of it normally is not included in any budget projection. The law says that by September of each year, the budget has to be presented. In this case, it was not. And coming in after November the 19th and asking for the extension to January 31st, it just so happened by accident that you cross that date deadline of December 31st, 2015. And of course, everybody's curious, well, what happened the last quarter? But normally, every budget that was passed before, they only went on the basis of the first 3 quarters of the year. But in this particular case, since we have passed the January 1st dateline, the CFT and even some members of parliament were inquiring about the numbers of the last quarter of 2015. So the decision was made by me, we're going to produce it. So as we sit here, the capacity that I have in the finance department is pulling out all plugs in order to produce those numbers for the CFT. And from that point of view, 2 weeks is a short time.
This government reversed that decision, and the Kimsha property, which is designated for public parking, we retracted that decision. And recently, terms of reference was published in the newspaper to go ahead and provide public parking for that area. I was made aware lately that Tessie NV has placed a lien on the property. It is my intention to proceed with the development of the parking lot in the Kimshaw property. And I want to make it clear and pursue the avenue that any obstruction to the development of that property where the previous minister for, I would say, reckless conduct can be held liable for any obstruction in blocking the efforts of government in executing the intention of government then where public parking in that area is necessary. The way it was done and the reason it was rejected, I will explain that again. The area is zoned for public parking. Government can, of course, change that if they so desire, but the way to do that is through Parliament. The only way to do that is through Parliament. And by sending a letter to the company indicating that we will give you the land, it's zoned as parking, you can develop a resort there, and later we will go through the procedure of changing that. That is risky in terms of if the majority in Parliament indicates that that is not the desire to change the purpose there, then government probably will be sitting with a lawsuit at hand. So the whole process it went backwards. You first go through the process of changing the purpose of the property, then you can transfer the property, and not transfer the property and then try to put government in a corner where that is concerned. So those are the two issues. My intention is to proceed with the development of the parking garage, and I will look at all avenues where the previous minister can be held liable for where that is concerned.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
One,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Is the Ministry of VSR and AUC has signed a partnership agreement. And this is very much in keeping with the direction that we've been going, that it's a small island and we're looking for partnership as much as possible that helps us to build synergies, that helps us to bring talent, experience, resources in a coordinated manner. Earlier, we've signed a letter of intent with the French side in terms of cooperation, again, in particular with regards towards healthcare development, healthcare reform on the island. So we've signed an agreement with AUC, and this agreement formalizes the current relationship that already exists, but again, it puts it into a structure that I believe is a win-win structure. What it does for AUC is it gives their students, it gives their physicians an opportunity for training, obviously under supervision. And it also means that these volunteers can be utilized in our community to help us bring our costs for delivering certain services to the community down. One of those examples would be the project that we're working on in terms of preventative care. And this is the project that I've spoken about before, where we're planning on finally making proper use of the healthcare bus, the mobile dental clinic, and what other resources we have available, with the idea of going into the population and helping to detect chronic diseases or early indicators at a point where we can treat things by lifestyle choices rather than by medication. So we believe that this is the best way to bring healthcare costs for the country down. And not only that, this also helps to maintain a healthier population, happier population, which is in the end our ultimate objective.
This is